Well, I would say at that stage that he probably knows that I've been publicly critical of him because I've argued publicly that he has proven himself very good at preaching, not quite so good at strategizing. And perhaps because he was a street organizer who had to preach to get action going, he sort of assumed that giving speeches was part of the answer, whereas it is only the beginning of the answer. And secondly, we now have a problem in Syria with an unfinished problem next door in Afghanistan, and those are the issues that have to be addressed most immediately. And in the background of that, as larger, longer-range issues, of course, there is the question of the relationship with Europe, with Russia, and with China. But the Middle East is your most urgent, most important, and most testing challenge. On Iran, let me make my own point of view explicitly clear here. I don't think that a military solution is a solution of any kind. There is no such thing as a limited strike on nuclear facilities. The nuclear facilities in Iran are well protected. It'll have to be a serious strike if we want to damage them so that, in fact, Iran is deprived of the nuclear option, at least for a reasonably lengthy period of time.
Middle of 2013. And I also posit that Iran will keep going forward with its nuclear program, which it has been doing, producing 20% enriched uranium, which is very close in terms of effort to what you need for fissile nuclear material. So what do we do then if the proposal fails, the Iranians continue to go forward on their nuclear program, and the president has said, I will prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon? It is a problem. It is a problem. At that point, there will be very little credibility. And I think the president is going to look at very limited nuclear options that very limited options that go after the enrichment facility to enhance his credibility in maybe then trying to get back to some kind of negotiating outcome. It's very treacherous ground, which is why I think we have to be thinking through it, because I think this process is going to continue. This is why we have to have this conversation in a serious way, because I can agree with everything Dr. Brzezinski says about the risks here. I don't agree with him on the military planning, which is something I know about from the work that I did when I was in the National Security Advisor. Well, one of the things I think Republicans and Democrats split on is Syria. And I think, Dr. Brzezinski set out a view. I think there is another view that many Republicans share, which is in Syria, it's a humanitarian disaster. It risks engulfing the region in sectarian violence. We've been sitting on our hands. We need to do something more. And that more, I think, is not boots on the ground, not invasion, not airstrikes, not no-fly zones. It is strengthening this emerging coalition that is cross-sectarian, as the French have tried to do by recognizing it, and then considering giving it the arms so it can finish the job and get rid of Assad. And I think that is where Republicans are. I think it's actually where the Turks want to be. And the question is whether the administration is prepared to do something like that.